right, guys. Hopefully, you guys have signed up for our KDU, Key Digital University, in our portal. Our sales team gets that, so we'll go in there, approve you. So once you create a username and password, you'll have the opportunity. You'll get another email back from us for the approval itself. And during the completion of your test, and once you pass the tests, you'll get a cool little certificate on the bottom to be able to hang in your cubicle wall at home, home office, etc. So we're going to jump right into this here real quick. So today's subject is our KD-CamUSB, the exciting world of PTZ USB cameras. So this kind of was a new item to the market, and with all our presentation solutions and everything else across the board, we noticed that we needed to add these to the mix to be able to do a complete solution. So that way, if somebody was asking you for a presentation scaler or something like that, you guys can now go through and include a PTZ USB camera. So trending now. So in our presentation solutions category, this is a standard professional USB camera, 1080p at 30 frames per second. You've got your PTZ ability at 170 degrees, tilt of 30, up to 90 degrees, 10 times zoom, autofocus, plug and play, working and playing well in the sandbox with everyone across the board, Windows, Macs, OS, and Linux. So this is kind of just like an overview slide, and then we're going to get into a couple of these specifics.
Hey, Scott.
Yep.
And I'd like to just add there, the zoom is not a digital zoom. It's an optical zoom. So it looks really, really good, even if you're fully cranked at 10 times zoom for zooming in on some fine text or whatnot. And we'll show that during the demo, of course. But I should probably specify that on these slides going forward, because that's a pretty common question anymore.
Correct, and that was going to be part of my wonderful demo, Jonathan, so we could explain. All good. So me, just so everybody knows, myself and Jonathan do Coffee with Key, KD Live, so no one take any offense. We have our normal standard witty banter that we continue on doing our webinars and everything else.
Listen, kid, be nice, be nice.
So, sorry, and during the demo, and when we're going over this, you'll see the ability that we could store call presets. We can do that via our new app per se, or handheld remote, our KD app. So I have multiple ways to go through and control this, USB, 232, IR, across the board. These are also addressable. So on the bottom of the unit, I'm not sure if we have a slide in here, Jonathan, is we can address each one of these cameras. So if they had multiple cameras, a dealer of mine is doing a project now where he has 12 of these spread throughout, and using compass control, he can specify which particular camera itself. And one of the more impressive items, it does come with a ceiling and wall mount bracket. It is in the box. So it's not like some of our other competitors out there that might not have a bracket. And you open the box and a lot of dealers get disappointed. They were like, hey, what am I going to do with this now? And then coming soon, if you guys stay on top of Zoom is giving the ability to do far end control, where you on the opposite side would have the ability of an on-screen overlay. And we're working on that now with our engineers to be able to control the camera itself remotely from the back side of this. So meaning far end control, which is still in development and prototyping that we've been going through with engineering now. So basically a plug and play operation. We don't need any particular special drivers, no special software, and plug and play across the board. Again, taking it, plugging USB into any Windows product, Mac product, Linux product, plug and play, and we're up and running. All right, so this is actually a good slide here. So I believe this was you, Jonathan, right? Helping out your local community?
Indeed, Jersey City, New Jersey. A Catholic church there that was, you know, they're not a mega church. And, you know, when COVID hit and they have a lot of their congregation is older folks. And so, you know, the social distancing and the staying at home was really, you know, they wanted to make sure they could deliver a good experience. A lot of them, you know, have Facebook to stay in touch with their friends and family and whatnot. And so that's what the church was doing. They were broadcasting Facebook Live. And, you know, the first few weeks they had just opened up the laptop and kind of turned it, you know, towards wherever they needed to go. And you know, they had the for audio, they had that covered because of course they have a mixer. That's nothing new in the house of worship side. But this is all new, you know, for those churches that are not doing weekly broadcasts, don't have a lot of technology for viewing remotely. This was the way they did it. And yeah, you could see before and after. And what was especially impressive was the comments, since it was Facebook, the comments from everybody on actually how not only when the video was better was, you know, everybody happy about that, but actually there was less complaints about the audio, even though there was no changes whatsoever to the audio. So it's really just the experience as a whole much better. And the point with this is just, yeah, it's an instant improvement. You know, this isn't something that, you know, your local church or community center or, you know, town hall, they don't have to invest tens of thousands of dollars to just have a better video broadcast online. This is in the hundreds of dollars, and you know, at retail even is still in the hundreds of dollars. And it was just much better. In fact, it's so much better that the priest actually has hair on his head with the on the after side. That's the kind of improvement you can expect.
So we're still working on that with engineering, the hair growth part of it. But yeah, I mean, like Jonathan, total psychology there is seeing a better image and relating it to saying, hey, the audio is a lot better. But we were using part of this in a marketing campaign just to sort of show an example of a difference. And like Jonathan mentioned, so many guys in the shortage of cameras, people working remotely, kids learning remotely from schools, it was a desperation measure. Everybody was just grabbing whatever they could. Even for an example, you know, knowing teachers are taking their Chromebooks and spinning them around the classroom to show either an example or a presentation. So it is desperate times of desperate measures. But here's another marketing campaign. We're seeing more of this is now of everyone with a home office is bringing it to the next level. And I want to note on this particular picture of this camera itself, those two side pieces with the covers, just to clarify, and Jonathan can back me out, those are not microphones. This is just the CamUSB PTZ video only. So those are not microphones.
Oh yeah, we got to update that image.
Yeah. So we need to update that. But having the ability as we go through and demo, I mean, it's bringing things to the next level. So someone that has a, you know, a nice office in the city that they're commuting to and no longer commuting to, they're not letting anybody in. They still want the ability for a great camera, great broadcast and everything else. I'm sure we've all seen it on social media, etc. Some classic information and some videos of some, you know, horror stories that people are going through. Here's a good example that we're going back over, and engineering's working on this too. There's a couple prototypes out there, which I'll be showing you, is our KDCam PC app. So I will, actually, you know what, Jonathan? Other than the magic wording here, I would like to pop this up now while we're on this topic. So I'm going to show you guys a live example. So we'll kind of jump around. We never, you know, try to keep it free form. And anyone's got any questions, you can either wait to the end or drop it in the question window as we're moving along here. But hang tight 1 second, guys, and I'm actually going to bring up.
Yeah, because you don't even have a camera on right now, as far as I can see.
I apologize. Well, I'll turn it right back on after this.
There you go.
There is 2 different scenarios here. So I'm going to go back 1 second. So
if you want, I'll filibuster while you open it up. Okay, so the KD camera control, of course, you'll see the control options, which are, comes with an IR remote control. We'll show you in more detail. And it comes with, and it's RS-232 controllable. But there was quite a few applications, like let's say in the church, where the operator is at the console, and the camera might be mounted overhead, a dozen feet or 24 feet and 24 feet, and trying to point the remote at it was troublesome. And if they didn't have an extra cat wire to run IR. And so what our team has developed here is, and it's still in the beta versions, but it's almost done now. We see now, Scott, this software, the KD-Cam control software for PC, where without any additional wiring, these controls will go over that USB cable. And not only over the USB cable, but you'll see our USB extenders that are a perfect complement to this. And it even goes over that as well. No troubles there. And we'll hand it over to you, Scott.
So as everybody can see now, that you're actually a video aspect of this. So I am actually using right now the camera app on my Windows-based PC, and basically open up our software. The camera itself opens up, and it gives me all my presets over here, top to bottom, 1 through 9. It gives me a privacy mode and a home screen. But I'm going to show you real quick. I set up a couple presets. If I go to home, it's going to adjust the camera back to the normal home position. So as I was messing around earlier, I set up a couple of presets, but basically if I just press number 1, here's a little bit of movement across the board where I move the camera. And what Jonathan was saying before, when we were kind of jumping around, we like to keep it free-formed, is the zoom ability. So preset number 2 will actually go in and zoom in on another preset that I set up just of a picture. And as you guys could see, other than the table moving, for me that I'm on, is you can actually see the date across here, a little bit more definition in the hinges of this picture frame. So I was just trying to show you an example there. And I'm going to go back to number 1 real quick. And then we have our privacy mode. If something goes south and you need to kill your camera real quick, you guys can see a little bit of a mess real quick, and spin around and go back into the privacy mode, where it'll just drop the camera back down. If I go back to my home screen, and if you guys are watching this, it's pretty smooth in transitions across the board.
Actually, yeah, even viewing it for me, Scott, it is. And the privacy is, you know what it is? It's where, of course, you could call the privacy, or when you turn off the camera, because even if the camera's off, people don't like having that feeling of a camera pointed at them. And so it goes back in a way like 170 degrees, if you will.
And one thing I just noticed, Jonathan, I'm a collector of shirts, and this is not a Key Digital shirt. But hey, so also
put your trade show name tag over that.
Yeah, I have to go through. It's like the regular TV shows where I forgot my gaffer's tape to put over
you didn't,
my.
You didn't get logo. You didn't get a second job offer in this webinar, did you?
No. It's just kind of stacking up here as we go along. But at the same time, we also have our zoom in and out, so we can go back and forth. But I mean, it's weird for me right now, Jonathan, because I'm seeing the delay between me sharing the screen and going back to Zoom. So that's the only thing that's oddball. But I'm going to.
Everything looks great.
It's just when I'm looking at the delay of the share screen. So say I want to lock this in as an actual position. I can go through, I moved it into that position. I can hit my little star and the little plus symbol, and I'll just pick one of my presets, and I'll just pick number 3. Now I can go back to number 1, which was the original, and over to number 2, which is our direct zoom, and then over to number 3, which is that last one that we went through and programmed. So that way, if anyone's doing something in a presentation, in, especially in the education market, so if they're spinning the camera around, a teacher can just jump back and forth and show what's on the board or a screen or anything like that across the board. So I'm going to switch back over. So that was the kind of quick demo.
Yeah, so really good job, Scott. Oh, and you know what? Go to the next slide for us, slide 8, since you've already backed out. But I think this is good for people to see. So actually 7 for me, in fact, Scott, if you don't mind, because what you see here. So Scott was showing the camera app open with the camera view. Of course, if you're using that USB camera in Zoom, or other conferencing software, or for your church broadcast to Facebook Live, or whatever it may be, USB cameras, it's kind of a PC limitation. You can't use them in 2 different softwares at once. So the software runs different ways. You can use it for control only, or you could use it for viewing plus control. And so when you do that, you could kind of size the window appropriately, and you just kind of get this default image in the background. And then, Scott, if you don't mind, slide 8, next slide. This is, you might have noticed in the top left corner, there was a settings gear icon. And this is the advanced settings. No worries. On the left-hand side, this is what you would initially see. And if you see in the center of that left, there's a button which says Properties. That's the Properties window that opens up there. But yeah, you've got your resolution adjustment. You've got a speed adjustment as well. So especially like the up, down, left, and right speeds, those are, it could be, once you're comfortable with it, you might feel comfortable to slide it up. I think the default is 3. I took this image when I had it, already moved it up to 5. So that's fully adjustable. Your left-right inverse, because depending on what video conferencing software you're using, on the far side, your text on the screen might look inverted. We've all probably experienced that by now. Picture flip up and down, on or off, is if you're hanging it from a ceiling, the camera's inverted. Yeah, you got your, just loads of different options there. And if you need to go into those advanced properties as well, you could adjust things like the brightness levels and all of that right in here. So it's really gives you everything that you need for the power users by going into these settings, and everything that somebody who really is maybe a one-time user, or just taking their turns being the operator of the mixing console in the church or whatever, give them what they need by default. Or if you're really not even looking for them to have the up, down, left, right, zoom in, zoom out preset control, you could turn off where it says show PTZ control there, currently set blue. All right, Scott, that's it for me, sorry.
So yeah, it seems like there's a lot of added options to this. So you could tweak this, make yourself look prettier, etc. on camera, but it's still a plug and play. These are extra added options to the camera, but somebody could go through, pick up the camera, plug it into a laptop or a PC or anything like that, and just start automatically broadcasting. One of our other options is our wonderful handheld remote, which you have all the features there between their PTZ or home key, all of our presets that are set up there across the board, autofocus, privacy mode, menu, all the layouts are there also. So more of the fun facts and included in our plethora of information today is KD-CamUSB has a 52-degree viewing angle. So depending on how far back it is, etc. So if you have somebody that has one of a larger conference room, table, or a super long room, we have the ability and a flexibility there, not chopping everybody's head off on the front row. And then another example here, ceiling mounting or something back of house, front of house, in a lecture style line of sight. So these are just good examples. And as we're going through this, if somebody asks, other than going to keydigital.org, you would have the ability to download this. Don't ever hesitate to ask myself or Jonathan. We've got everything from technical style slides, if your dealer would like to see it, and then we have what they call, we call in-house Winnie the Pooh or Fisher Price drawings to put into applications, examples across the board that we can send right out to you. And you guys could share with your dealer. Sometimes it's a visual. Again, included in the box. I won't mention another particular camera that's out there. We don't disparage any products that are out there, but the mounting hardware is included. So your bracket. So basically, Jonathan, I don't have mine here, but it's in a pretty little box with a handle, and everything is going to be included in there. So all of our screws, hardware, bracket, etc., to be able to either ceiling mount this, wall mount this, or you could put it, you know, I see in a lot of boardrooms and conference rooms, people just kind of drop it in a cubby. Again, all the hardware itself in a ceiling application. These slides just get more and more exciting, Jonathan.
Stop it.
And one of our lovely accessories that go with our CamUSB is our new XUSB2. So it's giving us the ability now to go through and run over CAT. Is we can extend this out up to 50 meters, or AKA 164 feet, depending on what side of the pond you're on. And it's going to be another solution for you guys. So if somebody's like, hey, I'm mounting the camera over here, but I need to get it over here. So, but other than camera, you have other options itself. It's like, hey, I got a PC over here and I'm trying to extend a keyboard. I'm not doing it wirelessly. It's got to be a hard line. Or I want to be able to have somebody come in and be able to plug in a flash drive or anything like that. So this is another item new. What are we working on now, Jonathan? About 2 months, 3 months on this?
For this thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's been longer than that.
Yeah?
Yeah, yeah. Was it, this might have been pre-quarantine. I think this came out at ISE time. February.
You're correct. Yeah.
Just seems like yesterday.
So,
or it seems like forever.
Yeah, pre-quarantine. Who would ever thought we would have to say that? So one example before, like we were talking about drawings, is we call this one of our Winnie the Pooh drawings with a basic layout with all our products across the board. So here is a simple presentation solution system with, USB. So this is a basic plug and play operation. So here's a complete solution where no programming, and we're going to get into this a little bit further on down the road, but if you guys take notice, you're going to see a little iPad there, and we have our KD app is something that you could download for free and control our items itself. So we're going to get into that with another training with you guys, but I'm just showing an example here of a standard video conferencing where we've got switching between presenters, display control, controlling the camera, speech enforcement, volume. So here is your mock boardroom using one of our presentation switchers, a simple wall plate if somebody was walking in, plugging into a laptop. We can switch sources around across the board, but here's a pretty simple application. I know today's focus is on the CamUSB. We're going to have other opportunities to train you guys on additional products, but you know, here is one example right there. Back to our remote again, which I think I might change the order of these slides for the next one around again. But this remote is also included in our PS42 or PS52, other products that we'll be going over in some presentation solutions trainings with you guys, giving us CEC control over
Scott,
this. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, but the remotes look similar.
Correct.
It's worth saying this is a different remote from the remote that comes with the camera, because this one is it fully. So this is the switch that comes, or the remote that comes with the presentation switchers, and it's designed to fully control the whole system, even from an IR remote. So if you got one of those conference rooms where they always have the projector remote on the table, kind of thing, they're all familiar with it. They keep that accessible. Well, this will. And sorry, Scott, I'm just going to hijack this slide from you. This will fully control the display or projector, and even both of them if there are two connected, via CEC. So no IR, no RS-232 wiring. And then section 3 is switching the presentation switcher to the various connected sources. But then section 4 there in blue is your camera control. So our presentation solutions really are designed to be complete systems. And as you know, Scott said, we're going to do a future webinar on that. And you'll see how easy it is to set these up and how easy it is to control them without any programming, any professional control system needed whatsoever.
Thank you, Jonathan. Back to the XUSB2. Another example here, we're doing CamUSB, giving an extension of running this out to a, back to a laptop. And then, one second, my slide thing here, PowerPoint locked up for a second. Best part about being live. All right. Again, I know we're touching on a couple of these things. We're not trying to confuse you guys. Is we have some nice pairing with just like wine with food. Is along with our CamUSB, our USB 2 extension. Is we have multiple products that go down our lineup. We'll go further in depth in our presentation solutions products, but our PS52, 100 MRX, our PS22, which is a newer product. So we're looking at a, like Jonathan said, a plug and play system of having a remote ability or a KD free app to go across the board to control. So you guys now with the CamUSB or USB extenders can offer a whole entire package. I've seen things come across from different distributors or salespeople, and they have everything across the board, and they're like, well, what am I going to use for a camera? So now we have a camera to offer. And then we have our BYOD. So having the ability for, using other people's terminology, but like an AirPlay solution for presenters and everything else. So we are now able to provide a complete presentation solution for our boardroom across the board. Our PS42, which is giving us the ability to run our sources in, example, laptop, Apple TV, or a PC, selectable sources. Running out, having our camera control here over our USB 2, and then going through and coming out of that PS42 into one of our 40 MRXs that is going to allow us to extend out. So this could be something that's by a desk, a lector, where somebody's doing a presentation from, and be able to run back out Cat 6 to our 40 MRX and be able to plug right into the display itself. And we mentioned it before, all these drawings are available. Sometimes I know it's a visual, sometimes it's just wording. Our PS22, I don't know how far in depth you want to go on some of these other units, Jonathan, other than the CamUSB?
Yeah, I mean, I think overall, yeah, we could, these are just examples of how the CamUSB is installed, whether it be just, hey, plug it in, you're right there near the laptop, like what you've got today, Scott, or if you need some distance, or if you need distance plus HDMI, or distance plus a full system, and yeah, it's really, it's native, even though it's a USB connection, the folks that have been selling Key Digital for a long time over at Capital Sales or buying it through Capital Sales, USB has really become a native layer for us. So, just seeing some of the various ways that it's being used and installed and trying to get the creative wheels turning for folks. That's all, Scott. You could breeze through them though.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, like I said, again, we're going to go over these specific products to make it a little bit easier. But like Jonathan said, one of the things that we always joke around is a plug and play operation and not a plug and pray operation. So another example here is off of our CamUSB, and I should have set mine up, John. But another great demo for these guys. For our KD app communicating back with our PS52 is you're going to have your PTZ option. I know it's kind of hard to see here is we have our up, down, left, right example on our KD app, which again is one of our free apps to give you controllability of presentation solutions.
Yeah, so the app will control it. You know, the camera is controllable over RS, IR, over USB, as we said. Well, what this does is the app communicates to the switcher, key digital switcher, and the switcher will convert IP to RS-232, and then hit that next button for me, Scott, because it will then output the RS-232 control. So basically, this makes it so that within the same iPad interface where you do your video switching, you can also do your camera controls. And this is our free app, and we'll get into that on a future slide, but just showing you the thought and the thoughtfulness that's gone into this and making a full integrated system without, you know, all you got to do is connect the 2 extra wires, and now that's fully integrated in there, and you have iPad control.
And again, we're giving control to someone in a boardroom or an end user that, you know, we're going to, like I said, again, I hate saying it over and over again, is we're going to go further into our KD app and our presentation solutions. But a simple connection here, we're just plugging into an Ethernet connection to an existing network or having its own independent network in a simple 232 control, where we're just doing a handshake between the 2 units itself, and you're giving an ultimate solution to someone that's like, oh, I don't want to spend money on this, or some of the other control systems out there, they're spending thousands of dollars and have a marriage to their end user. And if something goes wrong, you know, it just turns into a nightmare. But again, you know, amazing plug and play operations. Here, adding our AMP220 into the mix itself. Jonathan, we had that conversation this morning. I'm almost done with that. We'll be able to show you guys how we could use a PTZ camera, et cetera, in a further solution. So real quick, other than in any of us independently, you have the whole entire team of people. So we, even though we all cover kind of different territories, is we have Dwayne Rains, who covers our Southern Territory, myself that covers the Northern Territory. I have a lot of communications with your in-house team between Kurt, Sherry, and several other people. So I can be a main point of contact, but you always have everyone. So if you do send an email to sales@keydigital.com, that goes out to the whole entire team of people. So somebody will go through, respond to you. It could be myself, it could be anyone across the board. And then we have our international folks across the board that can go through and help also. I think that's the last slide in there, and I cannot see the does anyone have any questions?
Right now, we haven't seen any. Now would be a great time to ask them, guys. I do know how it works, though. As soon as we get off the phone and end this webinar, the questions start rolling in. If that does happen, whether it's right away, at the end of the week, you know, next project, whatever it is, we're all here to help you out. Reach out to Key Digital, reach out to your account manager, Capital Sales, any one of us that have been on this call. We all love to talk to you. And sometimes, you know, we're stuck at home, and that's the only interaction that we have right now. So please call us. We would love to chat.
Do not hesitate. All of us are here for you guys, and you know, there's no silly questions or anything like that. So I mean, no issues there. I mean, second. That's what we were saying before.
If you guys do have any questions, just post them in the questions box, and you know, we'd love to answer them for you. Jonathan, you were saying something? Or that was Scott.
Not me. That might have been Scott. Any?
Sorry, I was just trying to go back to the program. Like I said, sales@keydigital.com, or, you know, whatever you guys, just reach out, please. I mean, like I said, there's never a silly question. So we're always here for you guys across the board. No worries, no issues, but, you know, I was hoping somebody would have a question. Sometimes on these trainings, we give away free prizes for the most participation, or if they know what the magic keyword is, right, Jonathan? I think I lost Jonathan.
No, I think you just muted.
Yeah, what's the word of the day, Scott? That's a Thursday game of ours. What's the word?
Pineapples.
Pineapples.
Did that work? No, I don't get free stuff.
Plural. Pineapple.
You were
Plural.
close, but I did drop it twice today. It did begin with a P.
Oh. Oh, plug and play?
Pencils.
Nope.
Plug and pray.
Plug in. Right.
Well, guys,
Analyst.
if there isn't any other questions, I want to thank everybody for hopping on and taking time out of your guys' day. And Jonathan, Scott, Dwayne, everybody I got on it from Key Digital as well.
Yeah, and closing sentence from me, we have them in stock. A lot of camera companies don't have their cameras in stock at this moment.
In stock and shipping, and I think our largest deployment to date right now, Jonathan, is going to be our Aaron, which will be deployment in a school system with over 150 of these units.
Awesome.
So, you know, it's as fast as they come in, but we have the solution in stock, shipping, and we're rather proud of that. So don't hesitate.
Perfect. Well, great info, guys. Thank you guys for everything you guys chat about. And guys, if you guys have any questions throughout the upcoming days, feel free to reach out to us. We're all here to help, and I want to thank everybody again.